Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooters gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I fall, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. I can't believe my break is almost over, but I still have today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We go back on Tuesday, and then we're pretty much at the halfway point because when we get back to school, we have about 2.5 weeks until state exams, and then it is that the school year is half over. So it is crazy. So first one in was Shauna B, and I did change the time a few times. I wasn't moving very fast this morning, and so I was like, oh crap, it's already 11:30. My live was supposed to go at, actually, I think I initially had scheduled it for 12. And then I was like, oh crap, I'm not going to have time. So then I made it for 1. But then as I was preparing, I was like, I could do it at 12:30. So it works out. Shauna was first. Road Rash, hello. Christy M. SoFlo. Mistaken Reaper. Hope you're doing well as well. Hey, Lynn. Oh no, Christy says, OMG, Emmy, my little calico kitty got in her first street fight in my front hallway last night. My fault. Front door popped open and 2 strays tried to get in. She was big, mad, and howling. Oh my gosh, they knew where the good stuff was. So this definitely stray, because if they're trying to get into your house, they are not feral. And I think I've said it before, but you can tell the difference between a stray and a feral. A feral cat is very well kept. They're fearful. They're going to run when they see you. Whereas a stray, they are a hot mess. they normally, they come to you because they've just probably been, abandoned by their family, or they were just born on the street. So that happens. Or it could be there's this gray, he's a Russian blue. He is gorgeous, and I want to steal him, and I almost did steal him from the street. But in talking to one of my neighbors a ways down, they're like, "Oh, that's our cat. He just refuses to come into the house." And I was like, "Huh? You'd think this cat would wanna go in the house." "Oh, no, not this one." So I see him every so often, and I'm like, "Man, and now he's getting older, though." So I'm like, "Dude, you gotta, you know, let your family bring you in the house." But he just doesn't wanna be in the house, so he's always just wandering the streets getting food. But hopefully and I mean, she's got the catitude, as we call it, the calicos and torties are, well, torties, I think, have more of an attitude, but calicos are a little more sassy, in my opinion. Oh, and I was like, "Who the hell are you 2?" And the 2 strange cats ran out. Oh, no. So they actually came in your house. Oh my word. That is so funny. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny because your cat could have gotten really hurt, or the other ones could have gotten really hurt. Hey, Alexander, good to see you. It was a gray tabby and an orange tabby. My front door pops open if I forget to lock it, and I must have forgotten. Yep, that happens sometimes. Oh, your first cat was a tortie and your second a calico? I have to count because I have 8 of my own. 1, 2, I have 2 calicos, 3 torties, 2 tigers, and a tuxedo. And the tuxedo, she is a literal hot mess. She's a long-haired cat. She's overweight because she doesn't move, and she's got Maddies, but I can't even get near her because she is so unsocialized. I rescued her from New York City from the ACC, which, if you don't know, the ACC is a kill shelter, and several cats a week do lose their lives. But again, that's why I advocate for spaying and neutering your pets, because yes, kittens are cute. Yes, puppies are cute. But what's not cute is the amount of euthanasia that happens because there's not enough space and too many animals. So she's one. I haven't been able to touch her. She hangs out in my dining room, which is fine with me. And I can talk to her, like I can see her. She doesn't run and hide, but if I got close to her, she would hiss and spit, and she would just, be not very friendly. All right, so we're going to start. So this story came, I saw it yesterday as I was, just trying to find other things to watch than, the craziness happening. And I saw this, and it reminded me of the crash in Minneapolis, where the 5 friends were driving home from a bachelorette party. They were getting ready for a wedding the following day, and all 5 were killed. Or was it 4? I think it was 4. 4. And again, that was a while ago, so if I misspeak, I'll have to look it up, but it reminds me of that. And because in that Minneapolis case, again, they were just driving home from a fun time with friends, and a reckless driver speeding at over 100 miles per hour ran a red light off a highway exit ramp and hit them, killing all of them instantly. And this is similar, where a 17-year-old driver, along with their 17-year-old passenger, and it's kind of, I had to change my thumbnail because some of the reports that I had seen claimed that the 17-year-old was trying to pass on a solid yellow line, a double solid yellow line, hit this family head on. Other reports are saying, police are saying it's not yet known why they crossed the center line. Either way, the truck that the 17-year-olds were riding in hit an Odyssey minivan head on, killing 6 of the 7 people inside that van. And I think about the family because a lot of the relatives are still in India, and getting the news, I don't want to say news, getting the information to them about their family has been difficult. And so I also, though, want to say that these two 17-year-olds, I mean, we were all kids once. I was a kid. I did things when I was younger that I wouldn't do now because I know better. Like, it's, you feel like you're immortal at times when you're a kid, and that nothing's going to happen to me. I'm guilty of it. And so again, I'm only speaking for myself, but I believe this is true for a lot of us. And so I also am thinking of that 17-year-old driver and that 17-year-old passenger who are in critical condition, because they're going to have to be reminded every day for the rest of their lives that they took 6 lives in an instant. So not only should we have compassion and empathy for the family who's lost, but also to these 2 kids who, in my opinion, made a really bad choice that will affect them the rest of their lives. So, Nene says, I've been watching from the bushes. I've been subbed a long time and caught this title. There's a family, Simmons, on YouTube, that they lost 3 children and 1 teen child. Girlfriend? Is that what that means? 1 teen child's girlfriend and just mom lived. Simmons. Actually, let me look. I have YouTube open. Let me just look up Simmons. Oh, Simmons family car accident. It only takes one time. Don't be the person who takes away someone's world. Drunk driving awareness. Actually, I'm going to subscribe to them. They have 192,000 subs. I am going to put their link in chat. I'm definitely going to, and thank you for sharing that. I am going to check it out later. So that's the link to Simmons3.com. And I'm just going to go to the about. Oh, here. So I'm going to just read this to us. So my life was forever changed on the night of December 17th, 2021. I lost 3 precious humans who I was blessed to call my baby siblings. Here we will talk grief, life, awareness, and probably some Cajun things sprinkled in. Come on this new life journey with my family and I. And they also have a website that I will drop in the chat as well. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with my throat today. Actually, I'm going to share this because I feel like this is important. So this is the Simmons 3, which is also the link I shared in chat. And so this is Who Are We? Simmons 3 is a pending 501c3 nonprofit organization that was formed after the passing of 3 amazing children, Lindy, Christopher, and Cameron, whose lives were stolen by an impaired driver. Our organization was formed on December 16th, 2022, 364 days after the tragedy. With this organization, we hope to travel to schools, driver's education courses, and anywhere that would teach the devastation of driving impaired. So definitely a great, my gosh, so young. Our mission is to raise awareness of the devastating effects of impaired driving and to help other families who have been affected by impaired drivers, all while honoring the memory of Lindy, Christopher, and Cameron Simmons. Oh my gosh. And so then they do have some other information. And just thinking of this, it reminds me too of the Schoharie, New York limousine crash that killed 20. And that there was a family who lost 3 daughters plus 2 of their husbands. So the impact of just one split second is like that ripple effect. Like it just keeps going. And so thank you, Nene, for sharing that. I appreciate it. And I will also put those links in the description after the live as well, just so that some people might just read the description and say, oh, what's going on. And I have my New Year's resolution, which I usually resolve to not resolve at all. Or resolute, is that what it be? Am I using the wrong word? Probably. I usually make the resolution to not make a resolution. But my goal for 2024, at least YouTube wise, is to get better at my descriptions and doing like chapters so that if people don't want to listen to me talk for, 30 minutes, they can just click on a timestamp, and they can just bypass it. But normally with these lives, we have, important discussions before we get to the Hey Shopaholic, the main story. It's from the older siblings' point, not the mom, but the mom, I believed, only one that lived in that car. I wonder, let me see if I can find this on Google. Simmons family car accident. Oh, right here, Louisiana. All right, let me add this back. So this article was from 2022. Louisiana family remembers 3 siblings killed in wrong way crash with alleged drunk driver. An Acadiana family devastated by heartbreak is speaking out after 3 of their youngest family members were killed by a drunk driver in December. Lindy 20, Christopher 17, and Cameron 15 were killed in the crash. The 3 siblings were in the car with their mom and Christopher's girlfriend when their vehicle was hit head-on by a pickup truck. State police say the driver of the truck was intoxicated 3 times over the legal limit and was driving on the wrong side of the interstate. My question is, how in the world was this person able to even stay awake? Although I did not long ago talk about a woman in my area who was driving just over 3 times the legal limit here in New York and was able to walk, talk, be processed, do her, roadside test. And I mean, it's crazy. The Simmons family are now dedicating their lives to making sure this doesn't happen to another family. One decision can really ruin a family for the rest of their lives. Just be mindful of that. You can really destroy a family's whole life, Shay Simmons, the sibling's older brother, said. The drunk driver that hit their vehicle that night died in the crash as well. The Simmons family says his decision to get behind the wheel feels like attempted murder. I don't think you set out to murder an entire family, but drinking and driving, that's exactly what you can do, the siblings' older sister, Katie, said. It's been nearly 5 months since the teens died. Their older siblings are now sending a powerful message. Don't think that it can't be you or it can't happen to you. I'm sure a lot of people look at this man that he was an evil man that intended to do this, but I'm sure he was just a regular guy. That's what makes it so surreal, is that this could be just your average person that just makes one bad decision. So be mindful that it could be you that does this if you don't be responsible with your decisions and actions. You never want to have to walk into a funeral home and see 3 caskets with your family members in them. 3. A triple funeral we had to have of kid. I'm not sure. I think there's a typo there. A triple funeral we had to have, I'm thinking 4 kids, because somebody chose to drink and drive. 2 people survived the crash, the siblings' mother and Christopher's girlfriend. That is so, so sad. So, so sad. And so I'm going to change my slideshow just a little bit, because I do have a story that I saw that I wanted to share with everybody, and I'm going to do it at the end now just because it's not really flowing with what we're discussing. But thank you again, Nene, for sharing that. It's the parents' interview, that was heartbreaking. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I'll be, let me see if I can find that. I mean, this is, we've got time. Let me look at videos. Maybe I can find it better. Simmons family mourns. Oh, here, brother of 3 siblings. Okay, so let me share this instead. Okay, so the title is, "It's Something I Wouldn't Wish on My Worst Enemy. Brother of 3 siblings killed in car crash speaks."
New tonight, a family heartbroken after losing 3 siblings in a suspected drunk driving accident over the weekend. It happened on Interstate Highway 49. State police say a man in a pickup was driving the wrong way on the highway and crashed head-on into an SUV. 3 siblings in the Simmons family were killed: 20-year-old Lindy, 15-year-old Cameron, and 17-year-old Christopher. They were the youngest of 9 children. Their mom and another
Oh my word. So they had 9 children, and the youngest 3 lost their lives. I mean, that there's really no words.
Passenger of the SUV were taken to the hospital in critical condition. We spoke with brother Shay Simmons tonight. He says beyond losing his youngest siblings, it's just hard to watch his parents deal with this tragedy.
It's something that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. And if you do drink, there's so many resources these days. Just don't drive. Don't get behind the wheel. If you drink and you're thinking about it, please think about my 3 little babies that don't are missing out on a full life ahead of them.
The driver of the pickup truck, 54-year-old John Lundy, was also killed in that crash.
Chief Todd Wilcox.
Stop it. Oh,
thank you.
Wrong button. All right, there we go. There are a few videos. The Simmons devastating. Oh, the interview of the limo crash children. Oh, yes. And I actually will share it on my community post later. I did do a few lives about the Schoharie crash because the trial happened this past summer, and it happened very close to where I grew up. So it impacted a lot of the community. I was a lot older than those in the limousine, but my younger cousins were friends with many of them, as well as, my younger cousins' families were friends with their families and the like. So it was definitely tough. Oh, okay, Nene. Yeah, see, and sometimes when I look at chat, I'm just kind of going with what I'm saying, and then I don't realize that it doesn't have to do with. Oh, no. You're fine, Nene. It's absolutely fine. I'm glad you actually brought it up because it goes along with what's happening here, and they're still investigating. So, I mean, we don't at this point, it hasn't been stated what happened. They're just law enforcement is just saying that this teen driver crossed over the center line and ended up, changing a lot of lives. Hey, Brandon, actually, let's go, Brandon. I was actually thinking about you the other day, and I'm trying to think why. Maybe I think it was because I was going through, because I do have a live scheduled for New Year's Eve, and I'm going to kind of go through some of my older stuff, my older lives, and I feel like I saw your name in the comments, and I was like, let's go, Brandon hasn't been around in a while. So, yeah, good to see you. Hey, Nada Drama Nana. Hey, Jeannie. Jeannie says, this is so sad. I lost my dad to a drunk driver 3 years ago, and it's incredibly painful. I'm so sorry to read that. Yeah, and those are the choices that, I can't say. I would never drive drunk now, ever. But when I was in college, there was a time where I thought I was okay. And I had 6 other people in my car. And don't ask, we all shoved in there. I had a little compact car, and I think back on it, and that's one thing that I regret, because I was stupid. I was young. I thought I was invincible, immortal. And now that I'm older, actually after that I realized, wow, that was really stupid. So, yeah. Yeah, and now that I'm older, I don't do New Year's Eve much either. Nene says, I don't have glasses on, but what the H is new. So if I missed anything, sorry, and thanks again for showing the family. They're a really amazing family. Yeah. And they took the tragedy and are helping others now. Yeah. And hopefully have, saved countless lives because of their advocacy. Oh, you've been sick, Brandon? Oh, no. I'm in Ohio, and it's so cold. Yeah. Well, actually, New York has actually been kind of warm. We still haven't gotten any significant snow. Not that I'm complaining. It's 45 right now, which is not normal for December. Usually we're in the 20s. So I'm not complaining, but it definitely doesn't feel like winter. Hey, Bebobbity Bop. In 2015, in a nearby city, 3 children and their grandpa were killed by the drunk son of a very wealthy developer. He got 10 years, only served 4. The 3 kids were the only children of their parents. Sick. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's awful. Christy says, I had a friend who thought that she was okay to drive because, quote, dark rum doesn't get her as drunk as white rum, end quote. I had to steal her keys and she kicked me. Well, she should probably, kick herself now, because you probably helped her more than she realized at the time. I have never heard that quote, but hey, Okie Crime News. And thank you for being a member for 7 months. Much appreciated. Oh, Amy, I hate wearing coats. I hate it. I actually did find a winter coat that is more lightweight, that keeps me warm, that I can just wear, because I'm in the car. Like, I'm in the car 90 minutes a day. Why do I need a really bulky coat? You know what I mean? But yeah, I hate coats. So getting back, so this is out of Texas. And let's see. So this is out of Texas. And I do have these, again, I always do the disclaimer. Some of the information may be repetitive, but based on the videos, they each have important information that I feel we should hear. Oh, Alexander, I know I don't want to think about what would happen, but I know, like, I feel guilty about the simplest things. Like, I beat myself up over, did I say something wrong? Even with, everything happening lately and other things, like I've been putting those quotes because, again, yesterday I woke up and I didn't like who I was. And that tells me, like, get it together, Emmy, because this isn't you. And so I am, stepping back and going back to what I wanted to do here, which was talking about cases. And I didn't think I would have game streams, but now we do. So that's what we're going to do later tonight if you're all around. All right. So again, this is in, I believe it's San Antonio or around San Antonio. So 5 people, including 2 children from Alpharetta, killed in Texas crash identified is the name of this.
It's involving a Metro Atlanta family. This right here, this head-on crash on the way to holiday celebrations claimed the lives of 5 family members and left another critically injured. Atlanta News First Carly Barnett joins us now here in the studio. And Carly, just heartbroken over this. You were able to make contact with a family friend.
Blair, I was, and he was understandably distraught to hear this news. It's terrible news tonight. An Alpharetta family visiting family.
And so I'm hoping, when I first listened to this news clip, the way that she said it, I said to myself, is it because they heard it from the media, or were they devastated because they heard the news from friends and family? So, because sometimes you never know when media tells someone something they don't know. And so that was a wondering I had as I listened to this.
In Texas was hit by a driver who went on the wrong side of the road to pass in a no passing area. That's according to investigators, tragically killing those family members, which included 2 children.
Several members of an Alpharetta family were killed and one is critically injured after a car crash in Johnson County, Texas. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, the crash happened Tuesday around 4 in the afternoon.
A Honda Odyssey was traveling north on US 67 when a white pickup truck traveling south traveled into their lane of traffic and hit them head on.
Investigators say the white pickup truck driven by a 17-year-old from Texas tried to pass in a no-pass.
And this, I don't believe, at least what I heard, they didn't say what the speeds may have been of these 2 vehicles, but just looking at the sheer impact of that Honda Odyssey and even the pickup truck, I always watch those crash test videos, and the impact is significant.
Passing zone hitting the Honda Odyssey, which had 7 people inside. 6 were killed.
Okay, so this is where it's a little hairy, because as I had said before, some of the news coverage said that the 17-year-old was attempting to pass in a no passing zone, but then newer news clips are saying, well, at least law enforcement is saying, they don't know why. For unknown reasons, the 17-year-old driver crossed the center line. Oh, in Texas, the speed limits are higher. Yeah, here rural roads is 55, highway is 65. Although in like when you're going through, at least in Albany, when you're driving the highway in Albany, it's 55. But then once you get outside of the city limits, it's 65.
7 people inside. 6 were killed. Their names are on your screen. A surviving passenger, 43-year-old Lokesh Pothabathula of Alpharetta, is in the hospital in critical condition. Atlanta News first spoke with someone who identified himself as a friend. He said the victims included Lokesh's wife, Navina, and the couple's 9 and 10-year-old children. The other couple, his mother and father-in-law.
Especially when they involve children, our first responders really care for our community, and it does affect us deeply when something like this happens.
According to the publication, the Hindustan Times, the family is related to a lawmaker in India. Ponnada Venkata Satish Kumar told the paper, quote, "My uncle and his family lived in Atlanta. They were returning home after taking part in Christmas celebrations at the house of other relatives in Texas when the accident took place."
And so I did quickly Google speed limit in Texas. And again, Google says Texas's minimum speed limit is 70 miles per hour, but the Texas Transportation Commission can increase it to 75, 80, or 85 miles per hour. The commission can increase the speed limit if the highway can safely accommodate the higher speed. This is done after a traffic or engineering study determines that the speed is safe and reasonable. So that is interesting. And so again, here, this family lived in Atlanta, Georgia, but they were visiting other relatives in Texas, and this tragic event happened.
Now, it's still unclear at this hour the relationship of one of the victims, 28-year-old Rushil Bari, had to the family. The driver of the pickup truck who allegedly caused the crash and their passenger, also 17 years old, are in critical condition tonight. Sean?
Carly, our condolences out to their families. And more.
Okay, so the next. And so this one again is from NBC. And this is titled "Wrong Way Crash in Texas Leaves 6 members of one family dead." Remy says, "Kind of reckless to put it at 75 to 85. It's not about whether the highway can accommodate it, in my opinion, but whether drivers can handle it." That is a good point. I get stressed out. Well, and here's the thing. So in New York, and I can only speak from New York, but the speed limit on the highway is 65. However, in order to, in my opinion, survive by not getting into an accident, you have to stay with traffic. And traffic usually moves at a speed of between 72 and 76. So normally if I'm going 75 in a 65, I am going with the flow. So in some circumstances, I feel like if you are going the speed limit, or if you are abiding by the law, that it could actually put you in more peril than if you were to just speed it up a little bit and go with the rest of traffic. Because it's, I don't like driving that fast. I'd rather take the back way home because the speed limit's lower. But, sometimes you got to go with the flow.
And we were like brothers. He's actually like my brother over here.
Ayapala Bandaru is surrounded by friends and family as they remember his roommate, Rushil Bari, was one of 6 people killed in a head-on crash in US 67 in Johnson County Tuesday afternoon. Bari moved to Irving from India in August of 2020.
And he has a very big dreams. He always used to think about tomorrow. He used to be like, man, we need to rule this world, man. We came here with a lot of struggles.
Investigators say Bari was driving a Honda Odyssey with his cousin, his cousin's wife, 2 young children and in-laws when they were hit.
For an unknown reason at this time, the Chevrolet pickup truck traveled into the northbound lane and struck the Honda Odyssey head on.
The 17-year-old driver of the pickup truck and 17-year-old passenger are both in the hospital in critical condition. One survivor of the minivan is also listed in critical condition. Bendaru says the family was returning from visiting Fossil Rim Wildlife Center when that crash happened.
So at 4:01, she got a message saying that Rushil's iPhone has met with a crash. We were like in shock. What just happened? So we tried reaching.
So I'm thinking, and again, this is just what my assumptions. I have Life 360 on my phone, and so if I were to get into some type of crash or other event, vehicular event, it would notify the people in my circle, which is my family. So I'm assuming here that when this man says that, you know, this woman was like informed that there was a crash, that's what I would assume based on what he's saying. Yeah, exactly, Remy. I feel the same way. I try to be as attentive as I can, but that's what they actually teach you in defensive driving class as well. Is so Remy says, I don't necessarily worry about my own driving. I worry about everyone else not knowing what they're doing, distracted driving, not experienced. I remember, give me 1 second, y'all. I remember in defensive driving class when I was in high school, we had to sit through these videos, like just like 6 hours of, or no, it was defensive driving, but it was when I was going for my license. And they had this video we had to watch. And so there was like people walking into the street. There was like a bicyclist. There was a traffic cone. There was, all these different things that were distracting. And it was our goal to, kind of have that tunnel vision, like pay attention to what's in front of you, not everything going on all around you. So, I agree with that. I do have an Android. And one thing to know about Androids, on a side note, I didn't realize that this is something that they do, but one day, this was years ago, I was at work and my family, my sister, my mom, my dad, like everyone's trying to call me. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, I'm thinking there's like a family emergency. So I call back and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why? I'm at work. Somehow your power button, if you double click it, it will send an SOS out to your like immediate contacts, like your favorites, I think it is, something like that. So somehow my phone, well, it was in my bag, got hit twice, and it sent out an SOS to my parents and sister, and it also records what's happening. So they could hear me talking, but they didn't know what was happening because it was saying like SOS, and like, so if you didn't know that does happen with Androids. I don't know about iPhones, but with Androids, that is something that, 3 times. Okay, so I thought it was 2, so I guess it's 3. Yes. I was like, I'm okay, but now I know. Now I know. Okay, the iPhone calls 911 if it's pressed 3 times or held down for a long time. That's cool that the Android records when you do that. Yep. So I don't know if it's necessarily recording, but it actually, maybe it calls them so that they can hear. I'm not sure. I couldn't hear them. I had no idea what was going on. I was just going about my business at work and then realized what's going on. The volume and the button above that. So I'm guessing Remy. Oh, Remy is saying about an iPhone. Oh, wow, Remy. My friend has crash detection and it didn't go off when she was hit by a car. Life 360 told her it goes off with impact, like if your phone drops at a high rate. Oh, interesting. I will say, though, that the reason, and this again is maybe sharing too much, but, you know, the reason I got Life 360 and I actually pay for like the gold or whatever and have my family on is because one of my students, and again, this was years ago, she was murdered. Well, she was missing. She was missing. And no one had heard from her. They used Life 360 to track her last known location, which led them to her cell phone, which had been thrown out of the car. Long story short, she was murdered. They did find her. And I said, okay, we're getting it. Because God forbid something happens to me or any of my family members. That's, like we need it. So there's two things I don't mind paying for. And that is Life 360 and AAA membership for the year. Those are the two things that I will pay for without complaining, because those two things have been, well, AAA especially has been very helpful throughout the years. So it's a thing where, you pay for it and may not need it, but when you do need it, it's worth it. So. Oh, and Jeannie says, if you call an Android phone 5 times that's got the ringer off, it forces the phone to ring. Really? I did not know that either. Hey, Mr. Nobody, how's it going? Truth Seeker, good to see you. Wow, I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
Got everyone in the car. No one is picking the call.
Because surviving family still lives in India, the Telugu Association of North America, or TANA, is helping with arrangements for the bodies to be returned to India.
We are working on all the process. We are trying to expedite everything. We are working with the consulates here in Indian consulates here in Houston. We are also working with the airlines.
They also still have the heartbreaking task of notifying family overseas.
It's really bad. We don't know how to convey this news to them. We can't just call them and say that your son is no more. He met with an accident.
In Irving, Vince Sims, NBC5.
Oh, Jeannie says, I have the Treads app. It covers your tires and roadside assistance. I got new tires once mine need replacing for free. I've never heard of that app. Oh, really, Juju? You can also add the same thing AAA does on your car insurance for like $6 to $15 a year. It's usually a little cheaper than AAA, especially if you only have one car. Interesting. I'll have to check that out with my insurance, because I have State Farm. Actually, I've had State Farm since I started driving. Hey, Gianna, how are you? Also, do you all know the emergency bypass on iPhone? It's in the contacts ringtone and or text tone. You actually have to scroll up and it's there. It will, if you select it, it will allow for that contact to call. Oh, really, Juju? It's $12 a year? That's cheaper than AAA for sure. I'll have to look at it and compare. I would assume it would be the same, but there's always a little differences. that's good to know.
We're learning more about a head-on crash in Johnson County from earlier this week. It killed 6 people.
And that family was visiting from Georgia. Fox 4's Dan Godwin joins us in studio with details on the investigation and what we've learned about the victims. Dan?
Shannon, one of the victims who died in this crash was a 28-year-old living in Irving. He had come to the United States with high hopes. He was here earning a master's degree. Now, this is him, Rasheal Bari. He was driving 6 family members on Tuesday, visiting from Georgia. Their minivan was hit head-on by a Chevy Silverado truck driving in the opposite direction. Texas DPS says the truck, driven by 2 teenagers, entered the family's lane in a no passing zone. A friend who grew up with Rasheal Bari in India said.
So there again, those initial reports, they were saying that the 17-year-old driver was attempting to pass in a no passing zone, but now they've kind of changed the wording to entered the family's lane in a no passing zone. So it's law enforcement isn't saying exactly what happened, which they're probably, pending their investigation. But either way, what we do know is that, 6 people in one family lost their lives. The 7th person in the van is in intensive care, and the 2 17-year-olds who are in the truck are also in critical condition. So the amount of people who are affected by this is immense.
As the 2 moved to the U.S. to attend graduate school, the friend told us Bari had dreams of becoming an entrepreneur and helping support his relatives back in India. The 2 were very close.
Best friend? Best brother. Yeah. Even I'm in a concept that he went to some other place, he'll be back soon.
Bari's cousin, Lokesh Pothabathula, is the only survivor.
And what I noticed, and now that they have the aerial view, the lane on the right is like double the width as the one on the left, which is bizarre. I don't know. It's weird. It's like a lot bigger. I don't know if I've ever seen that, unless it was like a merging, like if it was a merging lane, or I don't know. It's just very strange to me. Yeah, Juju, exactly. They did say early on the truck was passing in a no passing zone when they hit the van, but now it's changing. So, I mean, either way, the truck did obviously, cross the double line and hit them head on. Why, is still to be determined.
Now, he is unconscious in a hospital with critical injuries. Pothabathula's 36-year-old wife and 2 children, a 10-year-old boy, 9-year-old girl, died in the crash. His father-in-law and mother-in-law also died.
And so you can, this poor man, I mean, the poor family too. But this man was in a van with his family. His wife, his 2 children who were 10 and 9, and his mother and father-in-law were all killed. I mean, in an instant.
The 2 17-year-old boys in the truck have critical injuries. Investigators have not yet been able to talk with them. We don't know yet if any criminal charges will be filed. The 2 teens are from Glen Rose in Somerville County. A DPS spokesman says it's not yet known what caused their pickup to cross into that no passing zone on Highway 67. Dan Godwin on Good Day.
And I think that might be a reason for them changing kind of the presentation of what happened, because law enforcement is saying they don't know at this point what caused it. So, to prematurely say, oh, they were passing someone in a no passing zone. Well, I mean, they could have fallen asleep, or they could have been texting and driving. They could have been, just zoned out. It could be anything. The important thing, in my opinion, is that there's a lot of people hurting right now and a lot of families affected by this.
And authorities in North Texas are learning more about the victims of a deadly crash in Johnson City. The crash killed 6 people Tuesday night, Highway 67, near the town of Nemo. According to DPS, a 17-year-old was driving a pickup truck heading south. DPS says he entered the northbound lane in a no passing area, and the truck hit a van with 7 people inside head on. Just devastating. 28-year-old Russell Berry was driving the van. Also in the car, Berry's cousin, Lokesh, with his 2 son and daughter, who were 9 and 10. His wife and his wife's parents visiting from India.
Just in one family, they lost 5 members. It's like, I don't even know what to say on that.
I can't digest him. He's no more.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Russell's brother and his roommate are working with authorities to get their family members back home. The 17-year-old driver and the passenger in the other car remain at the hospital in critical condition.
Oh, and Juju says the other reports were talking about the pickup truck and said, quote, the driver and her passenger were in critical condition. That guy just said the 2 boys. I wonder if it was a boy or a girl. You know what? Let me actually, because I know I have the most updated I could find video, but let me go and look up. If I go to the news stories and see if there's any. Let's see. So this one. This was 18 hours ago. Oh, great. I have to subscribe to see the rest of the article. No, thank you. Okay, so this is from, let me share this instead just so y'all can see what I see. Safety concerns. So this was from yesterday at 10:31 Central Time, which would have been 11:30 Eastern. Safety concerns rise after 3 generations and 1 family killed in Johnson County crash. People in parts of North Texas are expressing concerns for their safety after a deadly wreck on a busy highway this week. That crash happened Tuesday afternoon in Johnson County when a pickup truck and minivan collided head-on near County Road 1119 and U.S. Highway 67. 6 people died and 3 others were seriously hurt. 5 of the 6 killed were members of the same family. Really, it's a dangerous highway. A lot of accidents been happening lately, and it's a busy highway, so I feel like something needs to be done, said Patricia Simmons, the owner of the Big Cup Eatery in Glen Rose. Simmons's restaurant is about 10. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know if y'all believe in happenstance or like the universe, but what was the first story that we talked about when I came live today? That Nene brought up, the Simmons family. Or deja vu. I just feel like, not necessarily deja vu, but I don't know. I just got the chills because why would this article have the word Simmons in it? I don't know. Some of you may not be superstitious, but I definitely don't believe some things are coincidence. So yeah, like a sign, like. So Simmons's restaurant is about 10 miles away from the scene of the crash. She's lived in Glen Rose for over 20 years and often worries about getting into a wreck when she drives down Highway 67. Something needs to change for us every time that me or my husband go to Cleburne. I'm always worried. A lot of 18-wheelers and people driving too fast. Residents who use this road daily say more needs to be done to prevent serious crashes like this. We need more police on that highway because always it's been a problem, Highway 67. That didn't really tell us what our question was. All right. right, so I'm just going to kind of go through. So the driver of the minivan, who was 28-year-old Rashil Bari, and then the other 5 were mother-in-law, father-in-law, and then the dad is in critical or in intensive care. So he was the lone survivor in the van. And when was this article? The 27th. Okay. Because it does say that DPS says it's working with Georgia State Police to identify the victim's next of kin. Well, why are you posting the victims' names when DPS hasn't identified their next of kin? That's one question I have. Okay, so now this does say 2 17-year-old boys were inside of the pickup. They both survived with critical injuries and were taken to hospitals in Fort Worth. And again, there's just saying the minivan was in the same area heading north. The pickup entered the northbound lane in a no passing area and collided with the minivan head on. So my question would be, why is it important? Why wouldn't they just say the pickup entered the northbound lane, crossing the center line, and collided? In all of these, they're bringing up in a no passing area. So it's like they know something that they don't. It's just very bizarre, if you ask me. Oops. Oh, the uncle in India is aware. So is that why they can post the names? That I don't know. But I'm guessing that could be Remy, because the one cousin had said that they were trying to find a way to inform their family in India that like the family there in the US, the family here had been notified and had found out, but the family in India, they were still trying to get news to. Remy, I agree. Like the fact that they're putting in a no passing zone, like it's just very peculiar to me. Like, I don't know.
Man is fighting for his life after a crash outside of Dallas on Tuesday killed 6 of his family members.
It's a heartbreaking story, and that family was in Texas visiting relatives for the holidays. 11 Live's Bobeth Yates joins us live from Alpharetta tonight. And Bobeth, you're hearing from those closest to these victims.
That's exactly right. Lokesh Pothabathula has called Alpharetta home, and he's currently in critical condition in Texas. Now, we spoke to his relatives who say they are still in disbelief that 6 of their family members died in that crash Tuesday.
And a few of them are ready to be released. So we are hoping everything to be done by this Saturday.
Ashok Kola with Telugu Association of North America says they have been coordinating with funeral homes, airlines, and multiple consulates to ensure the bodies of those killed in the Texas crash.
All right, and I am just going to rewind this a little because I was getting to the GoFundMe, but thank you, Alexander, for bringing that up. It is also the link I posted in chat, but it is also posted in the description of this video. So definitely take a look if you can. I also have put actually, I'm going to go back a little bit further. I also put the description of the GoFundMe in my description as well. So their description, I put underneath the link. So, oh, and it posted twice for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let me get rid of one of them. We don't need to see that twice. You're welcome.
Believe that 6 of their family members died in that crash Tuesday.
And a few of them are ready to be released. So we are hoping everything to be done by this Saturday.
Ashok Kola with Telugu Association of North America says they have been coordinating with funeral homes, airlines, and multiple consulates to ensure the bodies of those killed in the Texas crash return to their home country of India.
One family, they lost 5 members. It's like, I don't even know what to say on that.
Alpharetta resident Lokesh Pothabathula is currently fighting for his life in a Texas hospital. But sadly, the crash claimed the life of his wife, their 2 children, and his in-laws visiting from India. His cousin Rashil Bari, who was driving the Honda minivan, was also killed.
A 2014 Chevrolet pickup truck swerved into oncoming traffic and struck the Honda Odyssey head on. We're still uncertain why.
William Lockridge with the Texas Department of Public Safety says a 17-year-old was driving that pickup when it veered into the northbound lanes in a no-passing zone, colliding with the family's...
And so again, they keep saying in a no-passing zone. I just feel like maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I just feel like you wouldn't necessarily say that if it wasn't important.
Minivan, and family members say witnesses described the gruesome scene.
One of the eyewitness over there took the phone of Lokesh, and she picked and she told that the accident was very bad, few were dead, and the owner of this phone is still breathing.
Now again, Lokesh is in critical condition.
Okay, so then in that part, so I'd like to find the full interview with that man, because earlier he had said, and that's where, you know, Life 360 came up, that someone had notified one of the family members that there was a crash. And then here, this man said that someone at the accident site picked up the phone and called and said, you know, they're still breathing. So yeah, I'd like to see the whole interview with that man, and I'm going to try to see if I can find it.
We're told he has a broken arm, broken ankles, also injuries to his neck and spine, which may result in him not walking again. And if that's not enough, he's also, we're told, lost his sight. Of course, we're going to continue to follow the story and bring you updates.
And so there you can see these, I mean, and they always say sometimes, you know, I've gone to trainings where they'll say, you know, look around you. And imagine, you know, they have the statistics, like 1 in 6 people, da 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 da. And then they'll say, look around, like count 6 people around you. 5 of you won't be here. Or in this case, there's 7 of us in a room, and 6 of us are no longer there. I mean, that's, in looking at this picture, so this is Dad in the back. He is in intensive care. And here is the wife who lost her life, her mom and dad, and then the 2 children who also lost their lives. I mean, talk about impact. Huge. And what a long road Dad has with the number of injuries he sustained.
Learning more about the crash in Texas that killed a Metro Atlanta family.
This is just terrible. Now the local community is stepping up to help with the services and arrangements. We have Atlanta News First anchor Carly Barnett. She has been working on gathering all the latest information, and also, Carly, reaching out to some of the loved ones as well.
Savannah Allen, that's right. We have been working on this since the news broke yesterday. A trip for the holidays turning into just a terrible tragedy in a matter of seconds. One man who survived has critical injuries, but a local organization is doing what they can to help with an unimaginable loss.
There are people, students, who came here for great dreams of this country.
Dreams ending too soon on Tuesday after an Alpharetta family was killed in a terrible crash in Texas. 7 family members were traveling in a minivan visiting family there for the holidays. 6 did not survive.
We are there for the families, and we are there for the people, who is in need.
Sunil Savili is founder of Indian Friends of Atlanta and is part of the Telugu Association.
Okay, and I I didn't watch this whole video, so it was Indian Friends. What did she say? No, I don't remember what she said. And it was on his title. Oh, Indian Friends of Atlanta. Oh, and that actually did come up, and I thought it was the wrong one. So I'm also going to drop this link in chat. So let's see. This was Indian Friends of Atlanta. And there is their site.
Sunil Savili is founder of Indian Friends of Atlanta and is part of the Telugu Association of North America. He and others in the organization have been assisting in transporting the bodies to India per the family's wishes.
Definitely, everyone need to be hand in hand and support everyone beside race, religion, and caste.
According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, the crash happened when a 17-year-old pickup truck driver illegally tried to pass in a no-passing area.
Okay, so now this was the most up-to-date video. So now this one is saying that the 17-year-old was trying to illegally pass in a no passing zone. And so this was the most up-to-date video that I could find.
Hitting the family's
Hey, Bella.
van head on. Lokesh Pothabathula of Alpharetta was the only one in the van to survive. His injuries are critical. His wife, Navina, and their 2 children, Nishita and Krithik, and her parents, who were visiting from India, all died in the crash. A Dalton Elementary parent shared an email sent out from the school saying Nishita was a 4th grade student there, and her brother, now in middle school, a former student. The van's driver, Rishil Berry, was a cousin.
It's so hard to take. Like, he's my half. He's my half.
His brother says he still can't accept reality.
It's like, I don't even know what to say on that.
And Rushil's roommate said their last conversation was about the new year.
He told that let's party on first. Let's celebrate New Year and let's get into this new year with the new dreams and new hopes. I'm like, yeah, man, let's do that. Come back soon.
Now services honoring their lives are planned for the weekend. Vigils Saturday, both in Houston and here in Metro Atlanta, for people to pay their respects. Their bodies will be flown to India on Sunday.
Now, the vigil that is here in Metro Atlanta, we do know will be from 3 to 7 p.m. The exact location, Sunil told us, is still being worked out. We're going to keep you updated on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. You can also find there a link to their fundraising efforts. As far as the driver of that pickup truck, he is also in critical condition tonight. Alan?
Prayers for the ones who are injured, but also the ones who lost their lives. Carly, thank you.
Okay, so I do have one last story for you that's unrelated that I hope will just end things on a little bit more of an uplifting note. But I'm really happy that I was able to share this story, this family story. And again, like I said at the beginning, regardless of what choices that 17-year-old made in that instant, they also need our empathy and compassion because they are 17 and they will have to live with knowing that they took the lives of 6 people. And I cannot fathom, nor could I imagine what that would feel like. And so not only do we need to show empathy and compassion to the family members who lost their loved ones, but we have to also think about empathy and compassion for those 2 17-year-olds, the driver and the passenger, because both of them, as well as their families, are going to be severely impacted, significantly impacted. Hey, B Legend, so B Legend, both 17-year-olds in the truck were listed in critical condition. They didn't give, that I could find, there weren't any specifics as to what their injuries were. And I'm just going to assume, but I would assume it's because they're minors. They may not be giving a whole lot of information on their conditions. And I do also want to I did pin the GoFundMe link, and just as an update, their goal is $500,000. And as of this second, they have raised $209,566. And actually, I think I'm going to share this with y'all quickly before we get to the last video. And let me just pop myself back to the side. So again, this is the Pothabathula's family medical and funeral expenses. So again, not only does this help fly them back to India for a proper burial, but it also helps with funeral costs and other, needed things, because the family who are in the United States are also going to want to, say their last goodbyes to their family members in India. So on December 26th, 2023, our beloved cousin Lokesh and his family were on a road trip where they met with a fatal accident in Johnson County near Dallas, Texas. Lokesh lost his entire family, including his wife, son, daughter, mother-in-law, father-in-law, and his cousin. Lokesh was airlifted to Texas Health Harris Methodist emergency room with critical injuries. Lokesh is in a critical condition, undergoing multiple surgeries, as he had deep intestinal injury, severe fractures all over his body, including spine, ribs, and limbs. As per doctors, it can take months of medical treatments and physiotherapy to get him back to normal life. And I did post it. I have the GoFundMe pinned, but I will also share it again in the comments. And it's also in the description of this live. So if you, oops, that's not the wrong one. Hold on, y'all. That was the Friends of India Atlanta. Un momento. There it is. Okay, so the last story, just to kind of end on a less sad note, because that was very, very sad. I'm going to share this video that came up in my feed about a rogue wave that slammed into Southern California beachgoers. 9 were hospitalized. And when I watched this, I was like, okay, a rogue wave, like people on the beach are going to get, they're going to fall over. But this was insane. And you can see here, like, people running, and this wave was just, it was crazy. It was crazy. Oh, it's the wrong one pinned. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that was my bad. Thank you, Nini, for letting me know that. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Yes, Nene, I did. That's the one I thought I had pinned, but I had put the wrong one in. So yes. No, you're good, Nene. You're good. You're good. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to take a look at this, and then I'm going to give some last thoughts.
California coastline, endangering beachside homes in Orange County and flooding streets and businesses in Ventura.
The National Weather Service is warning the public to keep their distance during the record high swells. This dramatic footage from a security camera at the end of Seaward Avenue in the city of Ventura.
And so again, like, this is actually, you know what? Like, this is insane. Let me make this bigger. So here you can see, like, it's just like, okay, we're just hanging out, we're at the beach. You can see the seawall there. And here's the wave. Here's the wave coming in the distance.
Footage from a security camera at the end of Seaward Avenue in the city of Ventura. The rogue wave swept a pickup truck down the street, injuring at least 8 people in the process.
We have live team coverage of the high surf warning. Vera Jimenez is tracking the conditions. Mary Beth McDade is standing by live in Huntington Beach. But we begin with KTLA's Chris Wolf in Ventura, where that rogue wave caused some serious damage. Chris.
Absolutely. Sharon, Micah, what a day this has been. This is Pierpont Beach in Ventura, one of the areas hit hardest with what the National Weather Service is calling tremendous wave energy. Of course, last night we were talking about all of the dangers and warnings, and it all came true in a very destructive way. Take a look behind me. Dozers are out here tonight. Work crews are very busy building a 6 to 8 foot high sand berm stretching a mile long to help protect the beach. This is Seaward Avenue and the Pacific Ocean, where a rogue wave, a monster wave, slammed onto the shore this morning, sending several people to the hospital. Oh no!
Holy crap, I didn't realize
no one
this part was at
expected
the
this.
end.
A massive
Okay, we're gonna watch it. I only watched the first part of the video, and I was like, I'm gonna put this, at the end of the live, because this would be, something a little bit. And 9 were hospitalized, but thankfully no one lost their lives. There was, but holy crow. Okay, so you see this wave coming, and personally, like I'm East Coast waves. We don't, we get waves, but they're like, they're, I don't know, they're not really that impressive at times. I see this coming, I'd be like, oh wow, that's a cool wave. And then obviously the people like right behind the seawall were like, oh, we probably should get out of here. Right, so this is where this guy is like, oh, hell no. And he's like, I got to get out of here because this wave is not stopping.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh no! Oh. No one expected this. A massive rogue wave slams onto the Ventura coastline, Pierpont Beach to be exact, around 11 a.m. Thursday morning. The explosive, rushing water quickly washes away cars and people. And
I know, it just took that truck like nothing. It just was just floating down the road. And like the distance that wave went, I'm curious to know like how far it went, but like that was a pretty good distance.
Smashes through windows of beachfront buildings and hotels. Oh no. The racing floodwater.
And I'm saying this guy with the camera, I mean, that's a really clear shot. So, I mean, kudos to him for getting the footage, but heck no, I'd be getting the heck out of Dodge.
The racing floodwater also chased countless others as fast and as far away from the beach as they could run. Witnesses say some of the victims suffered broken bones. Firefighters and paramedics rushed 9 people to the hospital, 2 of them in critical condition.
Oh no. Okay, so that I know they said or hospitalized, but I didn't realize it was, the injuries were that bad. So again, I mean, good vibes to them, and I can't, this isn't like crazy. Like the wrath of water.
According to the Ventura City Fire Department, county firefighters are also on patrol.
I think a lot of lessons were learned today when you look at that video about the importance of heeding on to the warnings about giving the ocean some respect.
Oh no! Oh. Ventura native Colin Hogue is the man who captured this video.
It was horrific. There was a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of cussing. I didn't know how far this was going to go. I thought to myself, this is a tsunami, is what it looks like to me.
When emergency personnel weren't dealing with people on land, they were rescuing surfers and swimmers who had unsuccessfully tried to challenge the forces of nature.
And so again, I didn't realize that warnings had gone out, but again, they were saying like they had given out warnings, and like that one man said, like, when you get a warning, you probably should respect the ocean, because you never know when the ocean is going to do its own thing.
Because of people being in the water, we ask people to stay out because it puts rescuers in harm's way as well.
Yes, that too. Okay, and I just see these two or three people standing over here. Like, I am not gonna play with the waves. Nope, not gonna do it.
The rough weather is not over, and that means the recovery and rebuilding of these beachfront businesses and livelihoods will have to wait.
The sea, it's unforgiving, and but we do know what to expect.
Oh no! Oh. Back here live as the bulldozer crews continue to build this mile-long sand berm throughout Ventura and Ventura County to help protect the beaches. High tide hits at about 11:30 p.m., so a lot of people are on edge right now. Firefighters will be patrolling the beaches often during the next few days because of this intense weather activity and tremendous wave energy. This street, Seaward Avenue, is closed down. The beaches are closed in Ventura County, and the Ventura Pier is also closed for now. We'll be back in the next hour reporting live in Ventura. I'm Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
Chris, thank you.
So there we have it, Rogue Wave. And I will actually, I think I'm going to share that video on my community page as well, just so that, I'm going to watch it again, just because I'm like, holy cow. Like, I didn't realize there was the second video that man took that was a lot more clear. And he actually was like, I'm guessing maybe he put his GoPro on the back of his head, or maybe he was running backwards. I don't know, but it was good footage. But again, Sinner says, it's well worth the risk living near a beautiful beach. The locals in Ventura have respect for the ocean. I'd bet it was mostly tourists who didn't know the dangers. I can see that happening because, like even with hurricanes, you have those people that just, they want to see it. They want to see the waves. They want to see, it's, people are nosy. They're interested. And, they just don't realize it. Shauna says, Pismo Beach is closed, but there were still a couple of surfers out there. And actually, that would be cool. Like, especially now with all of these, cameras and things, like just watch it from your room. Like, I know it's not the same as actually being there, but at least you're safe and you're not going to get beat up by a wave, a rogue wave, which I thought the title was funny, Rogue Wave. Like the wave, like, decided, oh, I'm gonna not do what I'm gonna kind of get out of line and cause havoc on the streets. All right, everybody. Well, I am so happy that you were here with me today. It was a lot of fun, and fun in the sense that we got to hang out together. The story itself was not fun to talk about, but it was important to talk about. And if anything, I hope it gives all of us a little more perspective on what's important in life and what we should just say, it's not worth it. Like, life is too short, and you gotta use every moment. So I am going to end with the quote that I actually woke up asking myself yesterday, and I was really sad at my answer. And that question was, if you knew you were dying, would you be a little kinder? Would you love more? Would you try something new? And the answer is, well, you are. We all are. So until next time, I will be live later tonight for game night. So definitely come hang out because we'll be doing our words on stream. And we're also going to do Gardic just as like a little warm up to get our brains ready, which is a drawing game. So I hope to see you all then. But if not, have a great rest of your day. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.